Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2020 movie, The Invisible Man. So this movie is directed by Leigh Whannell, and in this movie follows a woman named Cecilia who's in this really bad relationship with this guy. He's like this scientist. He's like super rich and kind of, I guess, kind of like Elon Musk, I guess, maybe. But he's abusive to her, and at the beginning of the movie she's leaving him and stuff, and like the first 10 minutes of this movie is just like really intense. Like you can tell she's like trying to be very quiet to get out of his house and stuff so she can get away, and she's like really scared and everything, and it just feels really tense. You haven't even seen anything happen yet, and just from the opening you know something is really off about this guy, and he's a really terrible guy. And a few days after, or it might even be a week or so after she escapes and she's living with her friend and stuff, she gets the news that he supposedly had killed himself and left her all of his money and all that, and she starts to begin to think that, okay, maybe this is a hoax and stuff, because she starts getting a feeling that he's still around watching her and stuff, and she eventually learns that he has this suit that makes him turn invisible, where he's able to he can be anywhere around her and she wouldn't even know it, or nobody would know it and everything. And everybody starts thinking she's crazy, including her sister, because he goes on her computer and writes her sister a nasty email, and he hits James's daughter, and everything makes him mad at her and everything. It gets where, of course, in these type of movies you kind of know where some things are going to go. She kind of ends up being alone. Nobody believes her or trusts her and everything. People think she's crazy, and then it takes a really big twist in the second act, and he kills her sister in public, right, and makes it look like she did it, and she gets incarcerated and stuff, and then he attacks her at the mental hospital she's in, and it's just, it gets really crazy. And then we find out there's a little twist and everything. I'm not going to say what the twist is, but the ending of it is really great. I actually love the ending of this movie, like just the subtlety of stuff in here. Like there are some things you don't fully 100% get the answers on, even though you know the answers. They don't actually say it, but they make it where the viewer and the people in the movie know the answers. They're just not talking about them and stuff. I don't know why, I just love it. I think it's great, and this movie has been one of my favorites ever since it first came out. I've said that it's one of the best horror movies of the last couple years, and it still is. I'm really glad to say that it holds up as well as it does, and everything. And the cast in here is great, but especially Elisabeth Moss. She's just absolutely perfect as Cecilia, and I really liked her in here, and I liked her friend in here, James, played by Aldous Hodge, and his daughter Sydney, played by Storm Reed. They're both really likable characters, and our killer in the movie is played by Oliver Jackson Coe. Adrian Griffin is the name of the villain and everything. I love that they kept the Griffin last name like in the original Invisible Man. He has the same name and stuff. I thought that was kind of cool and everything. And his brother Tom Griffin is played by Michael Dorman, and he's pretty good too. So I think that all of the cast are really good in this movie. They all fit their roles really well and everything. And it has some really crazy scenes in here. Like, there was some stuff in here that I just did not expect and everything. The first time I saw this scene with where her sister gets killed, the very first time I ever saw that movie, it just totally took me by surprise. My jaw was on the floor. I was like, holy crap, I can't believe they just did that, as it came out of nowhere. It was one of the most effective shocking moments in a horror movie in a while. Man, Elisabeth Moss was just really great in this movie. and everything. But and the cinematography looked really good in here too. It had a good score and everything too. So I really enjoyed this movie. I think it was a really entertaining movie, and still one of my favorite horror movies over the last few years. Yeah, I'm glad to say that it holds up really, really well and everything. And it reminds me of the movie Sleeping with the Enemy, with more horror elements added into it, and the Invisible Man stuff added into it. And I love that, because Sleeping with the Enemy is a movie that I absolutely love and everything. So that's one of the reasons I also was kind of sought this out. I love those cat and mouse thrillers with this and stalker movies and stuff. I just think they're a lot of fun to watch, and this is definitely one of the ones that's one of the best in a long time. We haven't had a good stalker movie like this in a while, where it's just, I mean, it's not your typical slasher or something like that. It's just like a more of a thriller than it's not really a slasher, although there's some good kills in here too. And everything. I thought this was a really entertaining movie, and it's definitely worth checking out. If you haven't seen it, it's definitely worth seeing it. If you don't want to see it because you love the original Invisible Man and everything, and this one looks too different, I think it's still worth giving a shot, because it's so different that it's its own thing, and I can enjoy it as a totally different movie and everything. And the Invisible Man franchise itself tried to do stuff different with each sequel. So each sequel tackled a different type of genre. So and this was a great modern retelling of the Invisible Man. I thought they did a really great job freshening it up and everything, and giving us a good story with a really good great character that you want to see win and everything. And it also gives us one of the most satisfying endings in horror history, because I love the ending of this movie. It really was one of those very satisfying good for her moments. I love that when they give us the good for her moments in horror movies, like Carrie too. But yeah, so anyway, I'd say I'd give The Invisible Man a 9.5 out of 10. It still is, like I said, one of the best in recent years, and it's definitely worth checking out if you haven't seen it. So let me know in the comments what you think of The Invisible Man, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.
Yeah.